Hello everyone. It's been a while since I've casted pretty regularly, more than once in a week, but I casted last weekend, casting today, doing a doubleheader tonight. First match of the doubleheader, it is Fancy Flightless Fowl versus Baby Makers. Looking forward to it as we are getting ready to jump into game number one here between Fancy Flightless Fowl and Baby Makers. Baby Makers choosing to ban out Braxis and Tomb. Fancy Flightless Fowl choosing to ban out Cursed Hollow and oops, that should be a quick update. Choosing to ban out Cursed Hollow and Volskaya. So there we go. Yeah. This is my employment. But yeah. With that, looking like okay, it is starting. It is starting. Pardon me. I had a little bit of a cough. I can't shake from sinuses. So, not COVID. I don't think. Might be. It's kind of the uncertainty of it. But with that, looking forward to this matchup. Taking a quick look at the standings as we jump into the draft. Baby Makers currently at the top. Fancy Flightless Fowl at number 2. Should be noted, however, and this screen does not capture it, but Fancy Flightless Fowl has played more of their matches. So statistically, they're kind of higher in the standings than they should be right now. Although that said, currently looking fairly safely in the playoffs. I ran my simulator again tonight. Both these teams likely to make it there. If you go off the naive assumptions, Baby Makers is like 99.99% actually, and in fact most likely to be the 1 seed. On the other hand, Fancy Flightless Fowl, who at one point looked like they might be out of the playoff picture, really have come storming back and posturing themselves well up for a 3 or a 4 seed. If they can pull some big upsets, maybe even get up to that 2 seed line. We'll see, but we see the Cho'Gall ban out of the gate, keying in off something we've maybe seen Fancy Flightless Fowl do. On the other side, Gazlo gonna be the ban. Then you see the Chromie getting denied. A lot of poke on this map. What is the last pick, or last ban, I should say, to come in? It's gonna be Greymane banned out. So, looking forward to this matchup. We'll see what the first pick is.
I play to win.
Is going to be the Diva coming out. High priority hero of late. That is going to be played by Marbuckle. Perhaps a relative of John Arbuckle. Maybe it's like Michael Arbuckle.
Tremble before me.
But then there's the Stukov Diablo. Pair with that. It's a pretty strong pick. You can see Marbuckle doing pretty well on that Diva so far. 5-1 on the hero. But I always like me some Stukov Dibbles. A pretty strong combo.
None shall flee my
But there's ETC and then the Maiev, so a lot of CC follow-up, which is a way to punish the Stukov. Stukov, very immobile as a hero. Maiev can definitely pair well with a Stukov, but can also really counter a Stukov very well also. Be interesting to see which direction this match goes. The Anna gonna get banned out. On the other side, it could make sense to me to get rid of the Li Ming. Hard to grab onto, high mobility, but also good poke. Disruption on the ETC monster. They're gonna ban out Raynor. Again, makes sense onto the map. Next 2 picks to come. They're going to need to get some damage. They could pick both their damage, although they do know Diva's in the solo lane. So if they really want something like a Leoric and they know it's a safe pick and they want to maybe hold some other counter, no, they're going to go ahead and take both their damage. Makes sense. You got Tychus and Tassadar coming up here. Tassadar has been a pretty strong hero of late, as has Tychus. I really like this draft, actually, I gotta say, out of Fancy Flightless Fowl. And Gaming Max, I mean, doing really well on that 6-1 on the Tassadar this season. It's just a good pick. You can't hate on it. And there we see Paper Tanks jumping onto the Hanzo. And Freckle Bob is actually going to grab the Deckard, which is kind of a bit surprising to me. There's a really big burst combo on the other team. And they're going with the Deckard, who really doesn't have much in the way of burst heals. Taking a look at the stats for Deckard as they load in. Only a 43% win rate this season. He's really fallen off with that Deckard nerf, but hey, it's the other Kira. It's slightly not as good Kira. It is, or it's slightly not as good Maiev, I should say. We'll see if that holds up, if that comes in. Hang on, let me... Last couple of thingy-dingies set up here, and then we'll be good to jump into this game. And you know, big match here. I mean, like I said, Babymaker's currently in the process of trying to lock up that 1 seed. A win tonight would go a long way. They're above 90%, and they're pretty high up in the standings. They've really kicked it into a pretty good gear of late. They've been hard to beat, but they have lost. And A West really has been a murderer's row, especially among those top 4 teams. We've also seen Fox and his carries and Regen Retro get some upsets. Regen Retro actually beat Babymakers earlier this season. So we'll see what happens as we get into game number 1 here between these two teams. And we'll start by introducing the members of Fancy Flightless Fowl. On the left is Alfie on the Tychus. We got Gingy Boy on Diablo, Zombie on Stukov, Gingy Mex on the Tassadar. And up in the top, Aralone on Kira, so I'm going to be putting Kira in that solo lane. On the other side, Babymakers. You got Paper Tanks on the Hanzo, Freckle Bob on Deckard, D-Shapes going to be on ETC, Dead Wish on the Maiev, and up in the top, it is Marbuckle. On that highly contested pick, Diva. Pardon me. Well, like, Tychus going with the basic attack range increase can definitely put a lot of pressure onto the ETC here. ETC actually, interestingly, going with the Guitar Hero at 1. Ooh, here's a big tether opportunity. There's the slide. Oh, but Diablo managing to charge onto the ETC out of the roof just in the nick of time. Vault has to be used by Maiev, who's now on a full retreat, but should be able to escape quite a bit of damage from the Tychus, though. Deckard going with Field Study here, level 1, trying to get some extra spell power for that healing. Stukov actually going with the E talent that gives bonus damage to low health targets. You know, a lot. I've seen less of that talent lately. I think it's because people have gotten more used to using reactive ballista spores. I still play Fetid Touch all the time. I frankly quite like it, but I definitely see the value of reactive ballista spores. But this E means he's going to go E at 7, most likely, Growing Infestation as well. And the downside of that approach is it definitely reduces Stukov's healing. On the other hand, it certainly increases his damage potential, especially... Ooh, and Diva rotates down, helps secure the objective. Diablo unable to get out. That is going to potentially lose a little bit of soak here. But they do get the bottom camp. Ultimately, it neutralizes out on XP, and they do stop Diablo from sacking souls for the time being. Now it looks like Hanzo and Deckard are going to start working on this Bruiser camp, which, you know, at this stage in the game, with Hanzo going into W build but not having that level 4 yet, it's probably going to take them that long to actually clear this camp, so we'll see what happens there. Meanwhile, Kira did rotate down. Now going back up, making sure not to miss any of the soak. I guess Tass and Stukov will be able to burn this fairly quickly. Deckard and Hanzo finishing now. Level 4 talents coming in. We still get the Ruby from Deckard, despite the pretty substantial nerf to start the season on that. Look at an invade, but Tychus was there ready to channel, and does channel. And now Diablo may be looking for the engage. Doesn't pull the trigger without the rest of the team there. Good patience shown. Maev currently in the bottom. Hanzo needs to be careful. Diablo maybe could go for that charge without any follow-up. Decides not to pull the trigger on it. Tychus heading up. Gonna start working on this burn up here on... Ooh, there's D.Va getting stunned out. And actually slowed there. Silence comes out. D.Va is in her mech playing very... Or out of her mech playing very aggressively there. With the bomb. Ooh, but now Kira is low, unable to escape, and that is the first kill for Baby Makers here. We now find a second on the Tychus up above, and this should be Baby Makers getting a big lead on this objective. Both teams have cleared out their side lane, but Baby Makers, of course, winning that fight and setting themselves up to get this first objective. D.Va heading into the top, making sure to pick that soak up. Nobody's soaking bottom at the moment. Presumably they'll send someone down after halftime kicks. Here we go. Hanzo gonna do a little tap-tap-taparoo. Not actually gonna pick up the soak. They want to go straight into the burn, understandably so. Hanzo gonna help with that burn, with that extra W damage now. And there we go. So about a half shielded Immortal, favoring the members of Baby Makers, as it will push into the bottom lane. Rest of the team coming down, they'll grab this soak in the lane, then they'll start pushing up. ETC hovering on the flank, maybe looking for an opportunity here. Everyone from Fancy Flightless Fowl staying behind the gate, staying safe. Here comes the Immortal. First tower goes down. Hanzo has finished his W quest very early in the game. The wall is down, so are the Immortal shields, but it's still about 3/4 health, now 2/3, pushing on to this objective. And I think they're going to get the fort here. In fact, they are. So Baby Maker's a good start. Diablo tried to go for the flip stun, instead gets caught out there. Now the damage turnaround, very real. Root's going to catch Tychus, and that's not going to give Diablo any way to escape, and he goes down. Hanzo on the chase, going to truck out some damage. This Immortal dropping now. I suspect Baby Makers will start to look to back up, maybe grab control of this camp here in the bot lane, then send someone top. Baby Maker's off to a good start, up 4 kills to 0 at the moment. Now, rotating top. Are they going to leave? Yep, they are. They're going to leave Maev bot for the soak. Wise decision. Keep rushing that race to level 10. You got some really powerful level 10s on the side of Baby Makers. You have Warden's Cage, Mosh, Dragon's Arrow. Eva Bomb is effectively her mech. As well as Deckard with the Sleepy Time. Here come the members rotating down. It is D.Va at the moment, though she does kind of cower from running in there, understandably so. Maev is going in very, very aggressively. And here comes D.Va, and I think they want to trap Bunny Hop coming in. They're going to try to trap Tassadar here. Stukov Silence does try to punish Maev, but a big root follow-up, and that's just going to go on Tychus. And Tassadar is in a lot of trouble. And now it is, in fact, Gingy Boy who's going to get trapped. And Baby Makers finds 3 kills at the drop of a hat so quickly. And now they're going to say, it's a very nice bruiser you have there. It'd be a shame if something were to happen to it. You're at least able to soak the top lane and find level 10s here. There you saw some great usage. Deckard, that root from the Deckard was absolutely clutch. But D.Va doing a really good job body blocking and making sure that the members of Fancy Flightless Fowl who ran down that narrow hallway at the bottom did not get out. Now they're getting a big lead on this Immortal. They're going to find themselves with a pretty uncontested, I mean, even more than a 50%. That's That's 60%, maybe even a little more. That is actually a pretty big lead there, as only just now, and actually still not there yet, are the members of Fantasy Flightless Fowl. Only just now is Tyka's starting to get damage out, but I mean, this race has been won. So with a very, very bulky Immortal, 80% or more, pushing down now the top lane, Baby Makers, they're going to say, let's push 5 top. There's a very weak wall. We can finish that up very quickly. Deckard prepping the lane. Here comes the Odin. Popped a bit early before the objective gets here. Trying to zone out. Kira is in the bot lane, so they are not hard committing to this defense. On the other hand, absolutely are the members of Baby Makers committing this. Sorry, I thought I heard my kitty cat sneezing. Bunny Hop trying to zone out Diablo, having a hard time escaping. There's the Diva mech. He's going to get hit by it, but he's going to be able to walk away. Kira still soaking the bot lane meanwhile. This is a 4v5 defense. The Mortal is still fairly healthy. Oh, and Tassadar is absolutely going to get caught. The APOC, though, might give him the space to zone out. He pops the Archon, now gets popped back in, but the turnaround damage is real. Can they get that Diva mech? They don't. ETC is low as well. Now turning their attention onto this objective. Kira has now joined, and they should be able to save this keep. So good defense there by the members of Fantasy Flightless Fowl, and a good job not having any deaths from that big Warden's Cage. That said, Baby Maker's wasting no time. They are going straight into the top. And, how you doing, Stuart? I'm trying to get my kitty to come over. Oh well. No kitty. Wanted to show some kitty. But yeah, so some backs now coming in. Want to get full mana, full resources, get back for this defense, but I don't know if this top keep will survive much longer. It still does. Diablo went in. They managed to find ETC. The first kill, first blood now for the members of Fantasy Flightless Fowl. As Baby Makers now going to need to regroup a bit. That said, they have not given up on finishing off this top lane. Maev's going to clear the lane quickly. There is a catapult pushing. On the other side, though, Fantasy Flightless Fowl, they're really desperate to try to force the fight while they have the advantage, especially down a level. Very important to get what XP they can here. They need to keep someone on the objective. It looks like it's going to be Tychus. Maev comes in. They separate out the Diablo. Silence comes in. Dragon's Arrow onto the backline with the Bunny Hop. Now Stukov and Gigimax having a bit of trouble, but it's Gigi Boy who's having the most trouble getting out of there. Big sleep that helps secure the kill on Diablo. Now Stukov throwing down the silence, but Hanzo is on the chase with Diva there. And now as the Immortal spawns, it looks like Stukov does manage to dodge that. Hanzo, meanwhile, has fallen, but the long shot does secure the kill. Can they get Marbuckle before Marbuckle is able to remake? Power Slide comes through, but the Task Wall gets in the way. And it looks like Fantasy Flightless Fowl, they lost Diablo's souls, but they now have at least an opportunity, and maybe that's the best they can ask for. Oh, they got the stun on the Diva, and she's not going to be able to remech from that. Has to back up. Now finally does get the remech off. Diablo went in, wanted the Maev, now having a hard time finding the exit. Here comes Odin, though, trucking out a ton of damage into that narrow gap, and this should be really an opportunity now to get halftime on the side of Fantasy Flightless Fowl. Diablo really wants that stun. He finds it on the ETC. Maev goes in, gets the tether. There's the Warden's Cage. Kira gets pushed through right before it comes up, but Diablo is completely isolated on the backside now, and Diablo has absolutely nowhere to go, and down goes Dibbles. Dragon's Arrow catches Stukov and Tychus on the retreat. Diva coming in. Does she have the Bunny Hop available? Yes, she does. Ooh, there's a big power slide onto Tassadar. That Mang is not going to get out of that one. Ooh, Tassadar almost getting caught by the tether there. Does escape. So 2 kills by Baby Makers, and that should enable them to finish this objective. ETC defending, just to be safe. But this game going from bad to worse, and the keep has fallen in top, which means the only thing standing between this 50% shield immortal is a damaged keep wall and a keep. And meanwhile, they have to be cognizant of the catapult pressure in the top lane. Oh, and this camp is visible, and Babymaker's very well aware of this, and they're going to be able to steal this camp. Don't know if that was the time you wanted to try to take the Bruiser camp on the side of Fancy Flightless Fowl. I think if you just let it disappear, you have less pushing against you. Now they have just a little bit of extra oomph in this bottom wave. And Tychus once again dropping the Odin very quickly, trying to clean up this wave before the Immortal gets here. See what poke damage he can get. Deckard, meanwhile, just keeping those potions flowing. Here comes the Dragon's Arrow. And here comes, oh, big sleep. 3 people caught inside this bunny hop, getting so many slows. The APOC does not help. Diablo goes down. Mecha, or Diva gets D-mech'd there. Now the focus on the Tychus, and there is the Mosh, and with nothing to interrupt it, there's probably going to be another death or 2 here. Kira does get the stun. Gets interrupted at a final strike, and down she goes, and that should be game number 1, heading over to the side of Babymakers. They want these last couple kills, and they're going to get them. Babymakers 16 kills to 3 as they dominate game 1. 4 structures to 0 at the end of the game. Really, really dominant showing there by Babymakers. Well, we're going to have to see on the side of Fancy Flightless Fowl if they'll be able to rebound. That looked really, really dominant for the members of Babymakers. We'll see if we can get to a game 3. But we'll be right back, everyone. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned. Alright, welcome back everyone to the Nexus Gaming Series. DB Smiley here. Getting into the draft for game number 2. Sorry about the delay. Had some technical issues, so the members of Fantasy Flightless Fowl are bringing in one of their subs here on Alterac Pass, which was picked by Baby Makers. Fantasy Flightless Fowl choosing to go with first pick. So we'll see if that helps them in this series. We'll also see what kind of impact the substitution makes. As we're simply waiting for it to start. Still waiting on confirmation. Seems that we're having trouble actually starting the lobby because it claims that one of the members are opening chests. Not sure what happens. We'll try to start it. Looks like maybe it's happening. There we go. Hey, all right, we're into draft number 2 now between Fantasy Flightless Fowl and Baby Makers. See what happens here as I'm excited to see if this match can be the start of a turnaround here. Gazlo still the first ban, not wanting to let that through. Okay. Cho'Gall banned out again as well. All right. All right. Maiev going to be banned out this time. So they are potentially letting through the Greymane, which they banned out in the last game. On the other hand, Baby Maker's banning out D.Va, so they very much finding it first pick, first ban. They don't want to go against it. Now, this does leave up some pretty big power picks on this map. Chromie and Junkrat and Ming are all really good at stalling the objective in a way that really no one else is. But a quick pick Greymane from Fancy Flightless Fowl. Batmang jumping onto that hero.
The crusade calls.
And then we have the new Cyborg Joanna skin, as well as Cassia, coming out from the members of Baby Maker. Cassia was really strong, and I still think is, but we just haven't seen her as much lately. And I'm not entirely sure why. I think there's a lot of emphasis on CC right now, and doesn't really bring it in the range position. Like, does a lot of damage. Going right back to the Stukov, though, is Zombie. And then you have Chromie being picked up here by Gingy Mex. So you got a tank and a solo laner left to pick on the side of Fancy Flightless Fowl. What gets banned out? What tank don't they want to play against with this comp? ETC seems the most logical ban just because he's kind of the only S-tier tank, but if there's something particularly that worries them, Apparently not, because they do ban out the ETC. Although maybe they were particularly worried by the ATC. Who knows? All right. Yeah, reminder, no links in chat. Yeah, I imagine the Garrosh is going to get picked up by Fancy Flightless Fowl here. It seems like a logical choice. That said, they need to get something to compare with it. Malthael's an interesting choice here. Maybe they want to double rotate with the Malthael. Could be a way to try to counter out what they expect to be a Garrosh pick, maybe. The Deckard, though, coming right back out. But I'm also trying to keep apprised of the news here, because I've been pretty
My blades are yours.
Ready for action!
We have, there it is, Muradin and Sonya are the last two picks. I was hoping for a Soul Laner with some more CC to pair well with the Chromie, but I guess they could do a Stormbolt Stukov combo, and that could work.
Let the games begin.
And Medivh going to be the pickup here, so that's going to deny a lot of that burst potential, as well as give them the portal to engage to help Cassia and Malthael maybe get onto that back line and start wreaking havoc. We'll see what happens. And I did put in a Nightbot here to moderate, to not allow. I've decided that needs to be a step I take. Taking it. All right, well, Baby Makers definitely look dominant in game number 1. We're going to see if game number 2 does any better here. Let's see. Moving into the game now. Go ahead and introduce the teams on the left side. It is Fancy Flightless Fowl looking to take this to a game 3. Alfie on Muradin, Zombie on the Stukov, Gingy Mex on the Chromie, Blood Ravens on Sonya, and Batmang going to be on Greymane. And over on the right, Baby Makers looking to get the domination. Going to be Paper Tanks on Cassia, Freckle Bob on Deckard, Marbuckle on Malthael, D-Sheeps going to be on that Joanna, and Deadwish on Medivh. So, let's see what happens. All the teams currently posturing up in the middle. Obviously, we'll want to keep an eye on those Gladiator tokens. I did, in between games, make sure to get the right interface. There's a good protected, by the way, onto the Joanna. Mitigated a lot of damage. Alfie taking a lot on turnaround. But right now, it looks like Marbuckle may be having to back up. Takes a Stormbolt there. Keep an eye on those level 1 talents. Muradin going with that Dwarf block. Sensible choice in this situation. Pardon me. Stukov is going Fetid Touch this game. So I don't know if I like Fetid Touch in this particular situation, because this is a map where you spend a lot of time just clearing the lane, not really fighting the enemy team, but also because, I mean, Cassia, Medivh, and Malthael are all fairly mobile. Can be kind of hard to stack off of. That said, both teams immediately grabbing their respective fire bat camps. Those will push into the middle lane. Murden currently dealing with both Medivh and Joe in this bottom. Keep in mind, Medivh already up to 11 stacks. Not bad, given how early in the game it is, and given how little fighting there's really been. Sonya, meanwhile, is pushing completely unabated in the top. Nobody currently covering the top lane. For the members of Baby Makers, that's potentially going to be a bit of missoak, but it's definitely going to be a lot of damage to this top tower as Malthael now rotating back up. Malthael and Sonya, this is always an interesting matchup. Level 4 can, of course, change this considerably if Malthael does go die alone. He has not picked a talent yet. Meanwhile, Stukov going with the biotic armor, getting some extra physical armor protection here. Medivh up to 15 stacks. Might drop down and grab a few more here. There's a couple. Mid has been cleared up. Baby Maker's rotating to the bottom quickly. They want Cassia. The root, though, is going to connect onto Muradin, and he's just going to have to back up. Stukov currently back, clearing the lane. Muradin now needs to be a bit careful here. Does manage to dwarf toss on out of there. Sonya, meanwhile, clearing the top. Malthael doing a good job on this double soak, keeping up on XP, however. Keep in mind, all the Gladiator medallions are up heading for this first objective. They checked the portal. They wanted to see if maybe the members of Fancy Flightless Fowl were on their camp and maybe vulnerable to attack. They don't really see the engage they want, so they back up. They're going to go ahead and take their own fire bats. As the objective is available, neither team making a push to it. Right now, Fancy Flightless Fowl is a bit ahead in soak, a little bit. Sonya running up to make sure they get the soak. Ooh, has to blow the medallion on the side of Malthael. Kind of got stuck with his pants down in that pool of mud, which sounds like a euphemism, I swear. It is, probably is. But now the fire bats are up on the keep wall, or the fort wall, excuse me. They will do a little bit of damage, but doesn't seem like there's clear communication as to exactly what FFF wants to do here. Muradin is still soaking the bot lane, and so they don't have a tank here at the moment. Medivh is kind of taking up all of Muradin's attention, and has stacked fairly well, 2/3 of the way done on the Master's Touch quest. Now the camp pushing the other way, so FFF gonna have to back up and clear that, and that should give the channel. Nope, there's the Stukov silence, although Medivh Portal is going to try to look to engage onto zombie. I said one too many zombies there, my bad. Muradin, by the way, is still in the bottom. Malthael has now rotated down, and he's doing the double soak. Looks like FFF, their top goal is we want to get level 10. They do have Chromie level 8 available. He has not selected it yet. Might be holding it. Rewind has definitely lost value because of everyone having a breaker in hand. There's the slowing sands coming out. Chromie pops her own medallion to be able to walk away from that. Good usage. Now trying to turn around some damage. Paper tanks appears to be the focus, but just not a lot of damage coming out in the potions all the way, keeping paper tanks nice and healthy. Muradin jumping in. Sonya might be in a bit of trouble here. Sonya, can she get the tap in time? No, she can't. Paper tanks dives in, finishes that kill. Now it's a 4v5, and Baby Makers looking like they just want to reset and back up, but that said, Alfie is just absolutely tempting fate there, going in below 500 health and leaving almost under 150. But, you know, Chromie. Love this portal, though. Love this portal, and they go in and they get the Chromie. And now she's going to think twice about doing that the rest of the game. And now I see why the Medivh pick. It's because, oh, you're going to stall with Chromie? Nah. No, you're not. They're going to leave Marbuckle to defend. They are starting on this boss. This is a very, very aggressive play. but FFF has not made any attempt to defend and have not caught it out. And so, this boss, now it will be visible on the map here in a few seconds. Oh no, there's a stall coming in. Malthael trying to stall it. But look at that. They spend all that time stalling it. They stop it at 0.2 seconds. I don't think they're even thinking that the enemy team is on a boss here. And now they got to be wondering, wait, where are these guys? And the boss should get taken here in a second. Malthael doing a good job harassing. Medivh doing the same. They do get the channel, but here comes the boss now. And FFF's got to think, oh god, what do we do? Do they commit to defending this objective, or do they back and clear boss? Looks like they haven't really done either. Maybe looking to get this kill onto Malthael, but a great boss take. Chromie gonna chunk a little bit of damage, but here comes the deep portal. Looking in, they try to find Stukov. They actually find Chromie. Flailing Swipe, though, used very well to peel out Chromie as well as Sonya. Now Alfie's a bit low, but Batman has rotated around. This is the opportunity, best opportunity you could expect FFF to get here for the time to try to maybe find that kill, but there's the portal once again onto the back. They find Chromie, and down she goes. There's a sleep as they focus. Last Rites comes in, finishes Sonya. Batman manages to retreat to the fort. Muradin gonna have to back up. That is 2 kills, and that will be the first objective going over to Baby Makers exactly 1/5 of a second after they finish this cap. As the top fort has gone down even before the objective comes up, there's a big wave, and it looks like Baby Makers maybe wanting to press this advantage in the top lane that they have. There we go. So, portal comes in, they portal over the wall, they now immediately turn their attention to the mid. Good use of the Medivh portals here by Baby Makers, 13 to 11. Mura jumping in, maybe wanted to look for the Sonya. Stormbolt does not connect though, and now Muradin in a lot of trouble. There's the Valkyrie, doesn't actually catch anyone. Mura now pops the Avatar, he's pressuring in as best as he can. Doesn't have that level 13, which is big for self-sustain. Ooh, as soon as they get the Stormbolt to land, Failing Swipe is coming out to buy space, though. Sonya, by the way, is not here at the moment. This fort is very low. They're turning their attention onto Greymane, and they find it with the last rights. And now that mid fort is going to fall. Sonya needs to back up here as they go to clear out top, and you would expect Baby Makers, they're going to take this bot fort and maybe look at the boss in the bottom as well. They do have the ley line seal as well as the Deckard Sleep available. That will allow them to defend this very effectively. But they also need to be aware of the rotation. Malthael recognize that maybe his best role is to zone here. That's at FFF. They're going to take their camp first. They didn't have the immediate instinct of checking bot boss, or they thought without 13 there's no reason to even go. In either case, this bot boss looking fairly safely in the hands of Baby Makers for the moment. Marbuckle working on the Fire Bats for the members of Baby Makers. Fire Bats pushing up mid here. They will need to get clean, but there is the boss. Let's see what Baby Makers chooses to do with this. Are they going to push up bottom? It looks like they are. Chromie can be good on the defense here, but they need someone to be able to burn the boss, and that means that Batman and Sonya are going to have to do the best they can to do that. But watch these portals into the back line. Alfie trying to get onto the back line over here. Tons of damage comes out onto the Cassia. The Valkyrie now separating out Greymane. Greymane wants the finish onto Cassia. Can he get it? He does. There's the first blood there for the members of Fancy Flightless Fowl, and now the chase is on. Can they find another kill? Looks like they're turning their attention onto D-Sheeps. Oh, but Malthael gets stunned out. Has protected, by the way, however. Batman's health falls, and he goes down. Can they escape now is the question for Fancy Flightless Fowl. And Medivh is saying, no, sirree. He's got the master's touch, and he is using it masterfully. Zombie, zombie, zombie is not getting out of this one. And that is 3 kills on the turnaround. All the while this boss was pushing, it got through the gate. It did not get through the keep, but Firebats in the middle also doing a good job getting this gate down. Big opportunity now for Baby Makers. Joe gonna back up, get full health, get full mana as the objective starts up. Malthael pushing in the top, making sure that's something they have to respond to. Getting that soak as well. 16 advantage is here for Baby Makers, so you think they're going to want to start pressuring in pretty soon. And here it comes now. Joe going to step up. She takes the Storm Bolt, but now Freckle Bob looking to maybe buy some space for a channel. They are going to clean these minions up. Joe channeling in the bot does take a Storm Bolt, but Decker channeling in the back. It is capped, 40 seconds and counting. Taking a look, Muradin breaker down, Sonya breaker down, Joanna breaker down. Everyone else has their breaker available. Malphite looking at D-Sheebs once again. Chromie's actually going to chunk quite a bit of damage. Here comes the Medivh portal, though, moving in onto the back line. They want to get onto Chromie once again, but the Valkyrie does not connect there. Stukov Silence comes out, forces back some of the members of Baby Makers. The camp has been neutralized at the moment, and so this is an opportunity, but there's the breaker used by Paper Tanks to make sure not only get out of the mud, but to also negate that Storm Bolt. Firebats, though, on the fort. Baby Maker's going to send Malthael to clean that up. They are pushing in despite that, 4v5 here, and they're pushing over a mud pit. Focus now onto Cassia. Has protected, by the way. Sonya trying to whirlwind away, taking so much damage from that Medivh Master Tusk. Now portals into the back. Leylines the Stukov to separate him out. Blast Strike's gonna kill Greymane. Sonya already went down, and now it looks like the focus is on to that Muradin. Has the Dwarf Toss to get away, but there's the big Fen chase. That will be Baby Makers securing this objective and really putting themselves in a position to steal this game, secure this game, not steal it. There we go. Now they're actually portaling in, and Chromie was out trying to clear the lane, and the portal comes down. Chromie is just buying as much time as she can, but she is not going to get out of this. Is she? Okay, JK, she's going to get out of this. Camp up here has not been finished? Oh, yeah, because they killed 2 minions, and then the camp finished, so yeah. That makes sense. This mid already onto the keep, and it's very healthy. Big opportunity here for the members of Baby Makers to, if not get this keep, at least certainly get some of the side keeps, if only due to neglect. Portal comes in. They want to immediately rotate bot. Malthael currently in the top, making sure that pushes in. This top keep is very, very low. Bottom keep goes down, so that is already minus 20 armor on the boss. Make that minus 40. Are they going to go for the minus 60 armor? Focus in onto Cassia. She does manage to portal out. Muradin has blown the Avatar, but Malthael doesn't care how much health, and Muradin goes down to the last rites. Leyline isolating out. Valkyrie manages to catch onto Greymane. He does manage to sneak away, but now they're portaling back in. They want this kill onto Batman, and they find it. And now with only 20 armor on this core, they could go for it, as they also find the Chromie as well. Leyline Seal catches on the Stukov. There's the Sleep Follow, and they get even more kills. Another 5 kills, 16-1 game. Absolutely dominant showing here by Baby Makers as they wrap up this match quickly and look to really assert some dominance here, heading into the playoffs in Division A West. Well done there by Baby Makers, getting that win. Critical win for them, as it helps them lock up even more that 1 seed. Fancy Flightless Fowl just weren't able to seem to get any kills there. Could have been that, you know, with their sub, with Gingy Boy, I think, who had been tanking, not there. It may have just put them in a bit of an awkward spot. In either case, though, Baby Maker is going to take this win. We're going to see if we can do an interview. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Thank you for watching.
by the way, thanks for
All right.
streaming our game.
Oh, yeah, happy to. Welcome back, everyone, to the Nexus Gaming Series. I am joined by Paper Tanks, who I guess was acting captain for Baby Makers tonight.
Yeah,
it doesn't have you
so
listed as captain on the websites, or at least on Discord, so, yeah.
it's the unofficial captain,
Yeah.
assistant to the assistant captain.
Assistant to the regional captain.
That's it.
Yeah. So you guys had let's just call it what it was, a really dominant showing tonight. I mean, absolutely dominated both games. I don't think you lost the structure. You took all but one, and it's just because you ignored the mid keep at the end. And obviously the kill differential was massive. So what do you most, I think, attribute that to?
So I think we're really hitting our stride. We've kind of been playing together since Heroes Lounge, and we made the grand finals for Division 1 or whatever it was. So I felt good coming into like all the NGS stuff, and so I think we're just finally melding together really, really well. We understand our strengths and weaknesses, and we actually had our main 5, so that always helps.
Yeah, and pardon me. You had your main 5 tonight, so that worked out well. You guys currently in the driver's seat to get the 1 seed, and kind of running away with it at this point. I ran my simulator today, and I had you guys at a 94.37% chance to get the 1 seed. So certainly this helping to secure it. What would that mean for you guys to get that?
We'd be really happy to get that. I feel like that's some goal of ours that we started at the beginning of this season, and it's always nice achieving those goals. But what we're most excited about is if we do manage to pull out A West and go play A East, I'm actually very curious to play some of the other teams. I've been looking at their stats of the Storm, and our A West's version of Greymane, they use Raynor over there. So I'd be very, very curious to see kind of different play styles.
Yeah. Well, with that, obviously getting the win, congrats on it. No real moments in the game stood out to kind of ask you about, so I guess I'll just go ahead and ask, do you got any shoutouts?
Yeah, shout out to the team. It's nice having our main 5. I feel confident that there isn't anybody in A West that can beat us when we have our main 5. You can clip that, you can bookmark that, and hold me to it.
All right, we'll see what happens. But with that, congrats again on the win, and thank you. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take about a 30-minute break. When we come back, it is Randy Newman versus, I believe, Artemis? I want to say. I believe it's Randy Newman versus Artemis. It's C West, so we'll see what happens. We'll be right back. Stay tuned, everyone, and or don't stay tuned. I'm actually going to kill the stream, but be back here in 30 minutes. We'll see you then. Bye now.